Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan. On today's clip, we are going to talk about the Lions clinching the NFC North tonight and getting the number one seed, home field advantage throughout the playoffs. First time the Lions have ever done that in the history of their franchise, which is amazing. It's a good feeling. It's a feeling that I have been waiting for like 29 years. I'm 35. I've been a Lion, rooting for the Lions for the majority of my life. So just to see this actually happen, I was totally in denial, I'll be honest. Before I get into my thoughts, give me your thoughts, how you're feeling about the Lions and the Vikings game, how you feel about the Lions moving forward into the playoffs, because guys, we still have about 12 people on the defensive side of the ball that are on IR, and it seems like Arnold might also be on IR after tonight's game, but we'll talk about that a different time because we only want to talk about good things, mainly about the Lions victory. And I want to just mention like three things I noticed, like key to victories, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. This is just an instant reaction video. By the way, like the video and subscribe to the channel. But there's three things I want to take away from this game, like I do whenever I do my instant reactions to any game that I talk about. And the first thing I want to say is Aaron Glenn, masterclass of a defensive game plan. Just there was one thing I was worried about with Detroit coming into this game is that we could not get pressure with four pass rushers. And it seemed like the last couple of games, this has been what the Lions wanted to do. They wanted to kind of force that in there. And it seemed like in today's game, they scrapped that and they're like, we're just going to bring pressure, 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 and we're going to make them make plays. And the Vikings could not respond. Not only could they not respond, but even like in the red zone, right? Um, they could not capitalize on big plays and big moments that their defense made. The interception that was kind of like a Reynolds was supposed to come off his block for like a quick screen pass or whatever, and Jared Goff threw it even though Reynolds wasn't ready for it and got tipped and intercepted. Um, I mean, there was a couple of plays where the Vikings seemed to have done the defensive side, gain momentum for the offense, but the offense could never capitalize. I think it was at least two or three goal line stands that the Detroit Lions had. And I didn't know that their defense had that in them because it's been a rough couple of weeks. I think all Lions fans would agree that their defense hasn't been great because of all the injuries. So Aaron Glenn, in the way that he called the play to just go, we're just going to blitz a ton. We're going to try to confuse them, and we might allow chunk plays, but we want to force them to make mistakes. I love that game plan. It worked out. Sam Darnold, 18 of 41, 166 yards, no touchdowns. He was only sacked twice, but a ton of pressure. And that's because of Aaron Glenn's defensive play calling. So that's the first thing I wanted to take note. The second thing, Jahmyr Gibbs had four touchdowns. I think they said that's the most or ties the most for a Lions player. He can be. I can't wait till Montgomery comes back, but he can be a workhorse, right? He can get 23 carries a game, even Reynolds. And that was the thing that I think, that I took away, not just Gibbs, but that the run game was really good tonight. And even there was that fourth down play, 4th and 1, I think, 45-yard line on their side of the field. And they went for a play action. He had Williams open. The ball got tipped, but you're like, why aren't you running it in that moment? Just because that's the way you felt that the Lions' run game was there the entire game. They Gibbs averaged six yards a carry. Reynolds averaged 5 yards a carry, and we know that Montgomery will probably be back. Getting the bye is going to be huge for this team. And finally, I do want to say my third kind of big takeaway. It's not about this game, but just like a general thought is I just don't understand why Dan Campbell is not being put in the running as coach of the year. I don't get it because this team is 15-2. 4 years ago, what 11-5, 15-2 now, won the division 2 years in a row, number one seed, and this team had the most players on IR than any other team, including at one time 16 defensive players on IR. I think Dan Campbell deserves the coach of the year. You know, Kevin O'Connell also deserves a running for coach of the year, but Dan Campbell, in my opinion, should win it because winning should matter. Now, I just want to speak really briefly on the Minnesota Vikings side of the ball. Listen, I think they leaned too heavy into the pass game, although it seemed like that's what the Lions were letting them do is pass the ball. So they got rid of the they couldn't run they didn't stick to running the ball, but like Akers, he had one big carry, obviously, but Jones was running the ball pretty good. He seemed to be injured. And the other thing about the Vikings was Sam Darnold just thought there was pressure all the time because of Aaron Glenn's game plan. And then just not getting converting red zone plays. That hurt them the most. It hurt them. Their defense, I thought, did a good job in the first half, and I think by the time the second half came around, they kind of just they got worn down. But what a real fun game, especially if you're a Lions fan, the way it ended. And there is a potential we could see these guys in 2 weeks. So it might be interesting. I'm trying to be like a optimist sometimes, realist more or less when it comes to my sports team, and it's just hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. I'm just gonna say that. So we beat the Packers twice and the Vikings twice. So right, I think we beat the Vikings both times. So yeah, that makes me a little nervous. But this team has been one of the most resilient teams I've seen in football in a very long time. So let's go Lions. Again, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about the Lions, how you feel about us moving forward. What did you think of this game? And what do you think we're going to do? Are we going to get to the Super Bowl? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. We'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.